If your name is Billie Joe and you love your coffee and you want to open your own coffee place, what are you going to call it? Billie Joe Coffee Company, Grand Prairie. By the end of this episode, they're going to have a brand new, beautiful sign by Signs Manufacturing.
Every day we look at signs. Some are beautiful, others not so much. For a business, any business, a good sign is crucial. So where does a good sign come from? Who creates these tantalizing works of art? In the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, it's done right here by the people at Signs Manufacturing, the people we call the Sign Dawgs.
Billie Joe Coffee. Regular plain old sign on the wall. Get business in there. Hopefully they got some really good coffee. I want to try some and find out.
I'm Billie Joe of Billie Joe Coffee Company. I live here in Grand Prairie. I've been a resident for 15 years, and that's who I am. I started roasting coffee here at Grand Prairie Farmers Market about 4 years ago, and was doing it as a hobby, as all things come natural. And then the community just kept asking me when was I going to open a shop. Hey, what are you waiting on? What are you waiting on? And I kind of put it off because I didn't think there was a need for it, especially for specialty coffee and Grand Prairie. You have Arlington, Dallas, Fort Worth, and we're kind of in between. And then one day I just said, hey, why not, right? So I kept listening, so I started looking. Then COVID happened. Farmers Market got shut down. They pushed it back about 4 months late in opening, and I was one of the first vendors they called back.
So, what is Chemex? I'm not a coffee drinker, so I know nothing about it.
It's just a manual process, a manual brewing system. So, are you familiar with French press?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so French press is a motion brewing where the coffee sits in water and it emulsifies with the water. So your Chemex and your pour over are the same manual type process, but you control the flow of the water ratio with that. And so it's a drip coffee. So imagine taking a coffee maker and then you do it manually. So it's as simple as that. But with the Chemex, opposed to any other thing, it's a thicker cloth, and so it cleans up a lot of the oil. So me as a coffee person, I like to say a French press is kind of like a dirty cup. It's real oily, kind of like that. So the Chemex will, with that filter being thick, it's almost a cloth filter. So it takes a lot of those oils out of the coffee, and that coffee almost becomes tea-like.
Hey, so anyway, Billie Joe Coffee, manufacturing the channel letters. They're straight up, straightforward, just regular channel letters. You write out the backs, you machine the sides, you assemble them, you write out the faces, trim cap them, put your LEDs in there, put your mounting holes in there, and boom, you're ready to go. Doesn't take long to make them at all. I drink coffee all day long.
Okay,
It's
great.
100 degrees outside, I'll be drinking coffee.
Hot.
Oh yeah,
Oh, thank you.
hot and black, that's the way I like it.
Well, that's what it's great. So now what we're doing is, hence, the Billie Joe Coffee Company. Within that is our espresso bar, right? And so, and also with information, as you see, we have some information boards.
Oh,
about
yeah,
flavor
we're reading those.
and the origins of coffee. And it's funny you say black. So actually, coffee is brown. It's not black. That term black coffee comes from the diner coffee, where it's been sitting on that urn, baking it, and becomes black because it's cooked.
Yeah.
Because it continues to cook. So that's where it becomes black. But true coffee is brown coffee, because that's what the color coffee is, right? And so that's what we're about, especially me, is to take the pride, put my name on the building, and say I'm gonna educate people from coffee. Because that's how I started, as a coffee roaster here at the Farmers Market for the last, going on 4 years. This would have been our 4th year, but we pulled out so we can concentrate on building this space out. And so that's
Have you ever seen white coffee?
black coffee.
No, white. You see some of my guys up at work, the way they make coffee?
Oh, with a lot of cream.
Good
I have
Lord
green-
Almighty, I don't
yeah.
even think that's coffee.
I have green coffee because that's what it is. It's fruit.
Right.
So a lot of people will get more familiar with it, but it's a cherry. And so within that cherry,
Yeah.
there are different flavors because there are different coffee varietals, the different cherry trees that coffee grow on. I have a chart up there, which is a coffee family tree. So within that family, there could be 10 to 15 different varietals of coffee. And so I like to treat it with the information also like wine. So if you have a Cab or a Cabernet Franc, wherever you plant that, it's going to absorb that terroir, right? That soil,
right, yeah.
the seasoning conditions is going to affect that wine. with coffee the same way.
I live 5 minutes from here, like from my garage to the back of my shop, 5 minutes away. So I am the community. That's why I named it Billie Joe Coffee, because that's who I am. So when you come in, you see me pulling shots, see me on the register, but that's part of the community. People ask me the same thing, why did I choose this location? And I tell them I didn't choose this location, right? The community chose it for me. The universe chose it for me because I looked all over DFW because I was looking for shops once people started asking me. And every time I decided not to go there, I would see a shop would open up in that exact same location. So I said, okay, I'm up to something. But a location I looked at right around the corner didn't work out, became something else, and this came available. And I said, okay, well, why not? So I chose this location. Like I said, it's still the community. That's the first IKEA that's south of Frisco. And so why not join somebody like that and say, hey, I can be part of that anchor space. And like I said, I can't iterate it enough. I'm the community, I'm part of the community. And this is where they wanted me. We have a lot of stuff going on around here, and I'm happy to be part of it.
Black peppermint?
I'll try anything once. Surprise me, man. Just make me something.
Sweet? You like sweet?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Just make me something.
No, right there,
It doesn't matter. Just pick,
cafe macchiato.
just mix me whatever you think is.
So what is the difference between espresso and just coffee?
That's a cafe macchiato.
Oh, I see.
So espresso is an extraction of the coffee in an express way, a fast way, a rapido espresso. So you do it real fast. So you take drip coffee, right? But you have to grind it super, super fine. And then with pressure and water, you extract that coffee in 25 to 30 seconds. 2 ounces of coffee.
So it's more concentrated?
It's more concentrated, yes.
I see, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where drip coffee is just drip coffee, right?
That's why it says a shot. You can add a shot into anything.
Yeah, but I brew with 2 shots of espresso because I'm the owner, and so I want the coffee to come through. I don't want it to just be sugar, milk. I want you to understand the presence of the coffee. And so with the coffee right now is a natural Brazil. So I roast that to my normal profile, which is a medium roast. But being that it's a natural processed coffee, it has a little more chocolate milk, dark chocolate undertones to it, where I don't have to roast it dark. And so when I say natural, that's the way when they process the pit from the cherry. They do 2 things. It's a natural process and a wash process. The natural process is they take it, let it kind of sun dry with the skin, the mucilage of the cherry still on it. And then the wash is when they take the ripe cherries, they take the seed out immediately, wash it, it's a cleaner cup. So most Americans drink I would say about 90% of everybody is drinking washed coffee. Unless you come here, you get a natural. So this right here is a little secret sauce and white chocolate sauce, not syrup. So it has a little more body to it.
I have never watched somebody make, like an artist make coffee before. Kind of neat.
Well, now you say you have.
That's true, yeah. I came for the show.
Reminds me of watching my brother-in-law make coffee.
So what?
It reminds me of watching my brother-in-law make
really?
coffee.
He worked in a cafe setting?
No, he had a coffee shop / gallery / theater.
Where at?
It used to be the old Wedgwood Theater over in Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, really?
Yeah, he had it there. It's been about 20 years now. He had to close it up though. Just too expensive for him. But yeah, we did live theater shows and all types of stuff there.
Let that settle a little bit.
What's that? Flour.
There's a warm cinnamon roll latte.
So let's talk about SolarGuard for a second, specifically SolarGuard with regards to Billie Joe Coffee. SolarGuard is, quite frankly, it's one of the more amazing products that we have worked with in the last 20, 25 years. And the reason is that a perennial problem that signs have is you put all this work and you build this wonderful work of art, and then you put it out there and the sun promptly destroys it, and the weather promptly destroys it. SolarGuard may not stop that completely, but I mean, it'll take decades for that problem to show up. It is obvious to me that this is a labor of love.
Oh yeah.
You know, I mean, this is something
true passion.
Yeah.
And then with those guys, and then a lot of people have taken on that model and coming from sourcing green bean coffee and understanding those nuances is that my answer to let everybody know on your big chains is that's quality control. So you're taking a fruit that's unripe or overripe because you're buying it at a commodity price. And so with those defects, you got to roast that out. Yeah. So that's why they do that super dark roast, so you can't taste those defects in that coffee. Yeah. But as a return, they've created a whole culture that like dark roasted coffee. Sure. You know, or that perception that that's how coffee should be. And so I appreciate them from opening the door for craft coffee, but I just want to take that next step, and then why not here in Grand Prairie? You know, we have specialty shops all over, but no one's come here, and I had the attitude that, well, maybe the city's not ready, but who says that, right? So I live 5 minutes away. I'm here, right?
When we put that thing on the wall, well, production art's made, and then we match the production art on the job site. So you have a pattern that comes with the letters. You go out there, get your measurements, lay the pattern out on the, in this case, it was a concrete wall. Drill all your holes, your power hose. Run your 1/2-inch conduit or wall busters, whatever you're using on this install. I believe they use wall busters. And run all your wiring through. It's outdoor rated wire, so it only has to be protected through the wall. So then we ran all the wiring on the backside, set the power supply box, hooked it all together, and then we made a aluminum cover to go back at a couple days later and just put that over all the wiring and seal it to the wall, so there wouldn't be any leak problems or anything. It's really not any leak problems anyway, since it's going through a tilt wall. There's no place for the water to go. One of the best things about that.
Really nice meeting you. I mean, that's fascinating.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I actually learned something.
Good luck.
Appreciate it.
Hope everything goes good, man.
Yeah, good.
That was a good drink.
I know, right?
I took it down pretty quick.
I see. Oh, wow, yeah. I like the red, it pops. Thanks, guys. You guys did an awesome job. I think I'm the biggest name next to IKEA now. Thanks, I appreciate it. I chose Signs Manufacturing because I was initially going to open up in March, February, something like that. And so as a small business, you try to stay true to their roots and try to find somebody small, somebody local, and you get some of those big boys, I like to say, in the industry. And not knowing you guys, I reached out, I believe, to Tom. My wife did also, and he got back with us immediately with a quote. Work with us because we wanted our logo, and he kind of worked us around that. Well, hey, I can do something better for your budget, and he's looked out for us pretty good. So that's why I chose you guys, because you guys really showed that you were willing to come out and help me. You came out, quoted me right away, came out, looked at the space, and I was in a time crunch, and you guys kind of bailed me out on that. So that's why I chose you guys, because you guys are really efficient. Really just visibility, of course. It's bright red, so you can see it coming. And so just that extra, I would like to say, to step out of the small market feel. And that's what I like, the way you guys did our lettering, and you guys kind of worked us around it, because like I said, that wasn't our original rendering. You guys, Tom and you guys got back with us and said, hey, we can just look better for the space. They typed the colors in, the colors work well, and it's just that pop, that visibility. So when you're out here and you're coming out of IKEA, or you're coming from the other shops, you see us, right? We stand out, and I appreciate that from you guys. And so coming from a farmer's market, you kind of have that craft-like feel, but I don't want to get away from that, but also I want to feel that big, that stick my chest out, right? And my sign does that. It allows you to see me, visibility, and then when you come in, you see the space, and you get it, right? You come in, it's a different experience than any other place around, and that's kind of what I want to get out of the sign. And like I said, you guys helped us out, nailed that pretty good.
Thanks for watching our episode. Billie Joe got his new coffee sign. We love it, they love it. Tune in for the next episode with the Froxy Vintage Vogue and the Karen Wiseman collection We're going to make them some new neon signs.